Hello everyone, welcome to PC Guys Off-Grid Cabin, where the work is never done, but we're doing it just for fun. So, this is a little bit different video than what we normally do, okay? And so I have Carolyn, Mrs. PC Guy, here with me, because she was deep up and involved in the entire situation that occurred this morning, and so we're going to sit here and tell you what happened. We're on the way up here to the cabin, and we had an incident happen at our local Circle K. We stopped in, get some diesel and a little breakfast, and then we was going to come out and do some work here at the cabin. And so I get out of the truck and go start to pump the diesel, and I noticed this woman kind of heading in my general direction, and the first thing I thought was, okay, she looks like she looks rough. Okay, that's as good of a way to describe her as anything, but she looks a little rough. And so I'm sitting there thinking she's probably going to come over and start trying to bum money off of me. So I was kind of had that in the back of my mind, not knowing that it was about to get a whole lot more interesting. That's a good one way of describing it. Okay, I'm gonna be frank, shit just got real.
Yeah.
We go inside the store, get what we need, and start to come back out when
I noticed that the truck doors were open, passenger side, and I know I didn't leave the doors open. So I'd said to myself, well, why are the truck doors open? Well, about that time, he comes out of the store behind me, asked, why are the doors open? I looked at him and said, good question. So I walk on, I get to the truck first, and I look inside, and there's this female sitting in the back seat of the truck. I yell at him and says, there's somebody in the truck. He goes, what?
Yeah, and I go up there, and this woman is absolutely hysterical. And I realized right then, this woman is on something. And I mean, she's on some bad stuff, and she's on a bad trip. Well, at this point, I don't know how big of a threat this woman is, because you get these people when they're on bad drugs, meth and things like that. If you I don't know how many of our viewers recall this particular incident where a woman was on some bad drugs and she stripped down totally naked in the middle of Highway 290 in Houston and climbed up on top of a tractor trailer rig and was screaming at the people and wouldn't come down, and they had to get the fire department, they had to shut the entire freeway down, and the police and the fire department had to get up there on that truck and get this woman off of there. Okay, so I'm sitting there thinking to myself, this woman is messed up bad, and I don't know what kind of a threat she is. I don't know if she's armed. I don't know what she's fixing to do. So
I turned around and went in the store and had them call 911 because like an idiot, I left my phone in the truck.
Yeah, and meanwhile I'm sitting there thinking, I don't know what this woman's fixing to do. What do? I pull out a firearm. So now this woman, I've got a gun pointed at her, and I'm screaming at her to get out of my vehicle. She's just sitting there screaming and crying, won't come out the vehicle, won't do anything, And so finally, I'm sitting here realizing, okay, she's got the police on the way. There's other people looking at me, and probably at least one of them called 911 because they see me out there with a gun. They don't know what's going on. So I said, okay, obviously this woman's not an imminent, immediate threat, so I put my gun away. Police show up, and once they've determined what's going on, because they came up there with the thought in their heads that there was an armed robbery at the store. So right there, things is already getting real. And so once they took over the situation, I backed up out of the way, and I can't get to my regular camera because it's in the truck. So I took my cell phone out, and I hit record, and I started recording. So I got a small snippet of what was going on video until, the police finally asked me to stop recording, which, I'm not going to give them a hard time. They're out there to help me. So I turned the camera off. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to let my viewers see the cell phone video of what happened, and then we'll come back and we'll talk about the aftermath of the entire situation.
What's going on, man? You got any identification on them now?
Is all this stuff in here yours?
The boot's not.
Well, I know that. Come over here and
See what that is, baby. I don't think
see if this is y'all.
the stool is.
Okay.
Ma'am, do you got any kind of identification on her?
Everything else is yours. She just kind of climbed in.
She's having problems. Can you not do that for her safety?
Who has anybody have
I did. Well, did I not say that it got real? It got real. First, let me take and say that the Trinity City Police, in my opinion, did an outstanding job of the entire situation. They didn't come in there and overreact. They were professional. They took care of business. And ultimately, they decided to just arrest her for public intoxication, and not try to charge her with. The explanation that the officer gave me was that she didn't actually take anything, she didn't damage any property or anything like that. So they just said, well, we'll charge her with public intoxication. Now here is the clincher of this. I hear them take and say that this female had spent the night, last night, in the Walker County Jail in Huntsville, Texas, and that they had released her early this morning, and obviously she was still intoxicated. Because this woman was well on her lit. And if you, you've watched the video of her antics, well, then you can see she was well lit. So,
You could tell she was on something, but that's about all we can say about her. Hope she gets the help she needs. Hope whatever troubles that she's having, that she finds out that alcohol or drugs isn't the solution.
yeah,
We hope, all the best for her, no real harm to her, and, it was just an experience that you get that gets your adrenaline up, And then when it's all over, you know, that rush is gone and it just kind of drains you.
Yeah, we got up here and we didn't really. We came off that big adrenaline rush, you know. Let me say this. Pointing a firearm at someone for any reason is a very scary experience, okay? You know, and you're sitting there, you're trying to remain calm, but at the same time, your heart's just beating, I mean, just boom, 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 because you are scared to death. And you're like, and you're scared to death, and you're like, please don't take and have a knife. Please don't have a weapon, because if you pull out a weapon, I'm gonna have to pull the trigger. And you don't know their intentions. You have to take and assume that in a situation like this, you have to assume that there is an imminent threat until you have assessed the situation and have determined there's not. And in this case, no, there ultimately wasn't an imminent threat, but at the time you don't know that. And some of these people, when they get on very bad drugs, they're crazy. They're crazy. They have what I would call superhuman strength, and they'll hurt you, and they'll hurt you real quick. And so you have to take every precaution to protect your own safety until you have determined the threat level and the appropriate response. In this case, probably I didn't actually need the firearm. But again, you know, you get into a situation where you'd rather have it and not need it than need it, and then you get caught flat-footed, and then you don't have it, and then by the time that you try to get it out, somebody, you know, because they say that a person can, with a knife, can, excuse me, traverse a distance of 10 feet faster than you can unholster a weapon and get it onto the target. Okay, that's how fast they can move. If you don't have it out and you're not ready. Now, granted, she's inside of the vehicle when this all first started, but what was she going to do? And of course, again, you don't know what she's got. She may have had a gun herself. You don't know this. You don't know what these people's intentions are. So maybe in retrospect, maybe it was a little excessive, but again, you know, you have to take and look at it from that standpoint right there. You have to look at it like, you know, until you figure out what these people are going to do, you got to take every precaution. And I want to take and second what she said, that we do hope the lady gets the help that she needs and can straighten her life out. Maybe the experience of looking down the barrel of a weapon will make her think twice next time that maybe,
You know, not to get in a stranger's vehicle.
well, that, and maybe you need to leave that stuff alone.
That too. If she was on something, we can't say for a fact that she was on drugs. It's just the way she was acting. It could have just, she could have lost a loved one last night. That's why she got wasted. Different things, family matter. So
Yeah.
we really can't say what was wrong with her.
It's really impossible for us to anticipate exactly what was going on with her, but again, in the heat of the moment, you don't know, and you can't just up and assume anything until you've assessed the situation and have gotten it under control, and then you go and you de-escalate as needed. We do hope the lady gets the help she needs. We really do. And so, you know, we kind of hated doing this type of video just because but we hope it's a little bit educational too for our viewers.
Always be aware of your surroundings.
That is absolutely. I should have paid closer attention and to my intuition from the beginning, and we could have avoided it. But at the same time, say I'd locked my doors and paid closer attention, you know, who's to say what could have happened in the next 5 minutes? She could have went and got into it with somebody else, or wandered out in the middle of the street and got hit by a vehicle. You don't know. You know, we can't sit here and assume anything and play, you know, what ifs. It'll drive you crazy trying to do that. So we appreciate you watching our video, and leave us a comment, good or bad. You know, we understand it's a little bit of a controversial situation. Give us that thumbs up and like our video and subscribe, and until next time, folks.